Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever thought about learning Sanskrit, but maybe you felt a little, intimidated by it? You probably picture it as this ancient language, kind of locked away in old scriptures, something only for scholars, right? Well, today, we're going to flip that idea on its head. We are going to explore a really simple, conversational way to make one of the world's oldest languages feel brand new again. So, let's dive in. Let's be real for a second. For most of us, the word Sanskrit probably conjures up images of dusty old books and super complex grammar, something you study, not something you speak. It can feel, well, a bit untouchable. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a much easier way to get started? And that's exactly where this approach comes in. The whole mission here is to completely reframe how we think about Sanskrit. The idea is to shift it from being this purely academic, historical subject into a living, breathing language, one that you and I can actually use in a real conversation. And that right there is the big shift. We're pretty much throwing out the old school way of just memorizing complicated grammar rules for hours on end. Look, the goal here isn't to become a world-renowned scholar overnight. It's to start speaking. It's all about using the language in a practical way, not just learning about it in theory. So where do we possibly begin? Well, exactly where you'd start with any new language you're trying to learn, with a simple hello. Let's take a look at our very first phrases and just see how incredibly straightforward this can be. Now check this out. What's so cool about this is how familiar it might feel, especially if you already know a language like Hindi or Gujarati. Over on the right, you see the Sanskrit. So to ask a man for his name, it's just Bhavataha Nam Kim. See that? The structure is so clear and direct. Let's just say that one more time. Bhavataha Nam Kim. And here we go. We're looking right at a page from the source material itself. So this isn't some abstract lesson I'm making up. It's right there in the text. You can see Bhavata Nam Kim for asking a guy's name. And you'll notice there's just a small change for addressing a woman. Bhavatyaha Nam Kim. It's all laid out so clearly, and honestly, that's what makes this whole approach so effective. All right, let's actually try this out right now. Step 1 is the question we just learned. Step 2 is the answer. Mama Nam, your name, Asti, my name is. See, it's that simple. And I genuinely want you to try this. Go on, head down to the comments and introduce yourself using that exact phrase. Go for it. This is literally your first sentence in spoken Sanskrit. Awesome. Now that you've got that basic introduction down, you've pretty much unlocked the door. Because trust me, this isn't just about learning names. We're about to build on that foundation so you can have real, actual, everyday conversations. Just take a look at this next page. I love these examples so much. You see a question like Pavatel Grama, which just means your village, or Kushalam Kim, which is kind of like asking, is everything good? All well? These aren't just academic exercises, They're the real building blocks of a genuine human connection. And it just keeps building from there with these incredibly useful everyday phrases. Things like agachatu, come in, or upavishatu, sit down. You can almost immediately picture yourself actually using these, can't you? It's all about making the language a real part of your environment. I'm looking at this last set of examples, you really start to get a sense of the momentum, right? In just a few minutes, we've gone from a simple hello to having the tools you need to make requests, to ask questions, basically to have a real, even if it's simple, exchange with someone. And that speed is what makes this whole thing so powerful. But, this journey is about so much more than just learning a new skill. As we've seen, the phrases themselves are pretty simple. The real magic happens when you start to realize that these words are like a bridge, a way to connect with the very soul of an entire culture. And this quote right here, this really gets to the heart of everything. It says, Sanskrit is not just a language, it is a sanskara. Now, a sanskara is way more than just a value. It's like a deep impression on your mind, a kind of cultural refinement, almost a way of being. So when you learn to speak it, you're doing so much more than just memorizing words. You're actually taking part in this incredibly rich heritage and seeing the world through a whole new lens. So, after seeing how accessible it can be, how quickly you can actually start speaking, and really understanding the deep cultural connection it offers, well, the only question left is, will you join this journey? Thanks so much for watching. Punarmi Lama. We'll meet again.